Good evening everybody, welcome back to our English classes. Today inshallah we are going to have some revision on the course Eng218. It's course for third year. The title of the course is Effective Academic Writing. Today inshallah we are going to have final revision, the golden hour from الهداية secondary school. Today, inshallah, we are going to have some idea about writing topics. Okay, first of all, this is our vision and our mission for الهداية secondary school. You can read it on your own. Our vision and our mission and our values in الهداية secondary school. As you know, there are 6 units in this course. Unit 1, you have a general idea about the paragraph and types of paragraphs. Then you have 5 minutes about different types of paragraph. In order to write a model paragraph, there are some items or there are some steps, there are some qualifications, there are specifications to follow. First of all, as you see here in this model paragraph, you must write the title of the paragraph. So you must write and begin with the title of the paragraph. The title of this paragraph, for example, is Red. Red is the title of the paragraph and it has number 1. Then in order to write a paragraph, you must mention the title of the paragraph in order to give the reader an idea about what he is going to read. Number 2, you must have some space in the first line like this, small space like this. It is indent. Your paragraph must be indent. You must have a space on the first line, at most 2 letters like this. Number 1, you must begin with the title. Number 2, you must leave a space on the first line. Number 3, you must leave margins on both sides, the left and the right. You must leave spaces on the margins on both sides, the left and the right. And as usual, you must write your paragraph in unity and it must have unified ideas. So you must write on one topic only. Don't write on different topics. You must follow the punctuation rules like capitalization in the beginning of a sentence, and you must leave a full stop in the end of the sentence. You must leave question mark in the end of a question. As you know these ideas and these rules before. For example, Red, the title, here is a space in the first line, margins on both sides, the right side and the left side, and you must write on one topic. And you must follow the punctuation rules like capitalization and question mark, full stops. Next, here is an example of a model paragraph. This is another example of a model paragraph, and the title of this paragraph is My Grandfather the Baker. My Grandfather the Baker is the title of our paragraph. In the first line there is a space. Then we must begin with capital letter. My grandfather has a lot of respect in our community. Then this is sentence number 1 is called topic sentence. If the reader reads only this sentence, he must know that you are going to write about your grandfather and all the paragraph will be about your grandfather as a whole. My grandfather has a lot of respect in our community. This sentence begins with capital letter M and ends with full stop. When you begin another sentence, you must begin with capital letter and you must finish with a full stop as usual. So the title of the paragraph is My Grandfather the Baker. Here is some spaces on the first line, and you can see 2 margins on the both sides, the right and the left. Number 1, the title. Number 2, indent or space in the beginning. Number 3, margins. Number 4, there is unity in your paragraph, and you must follow the capitalization and other rules when you write your paragraph. You have 1 minute to read this paragraph. I can read with you. My grandfather has a lot of respect in our community. He is the owner of a bakery called the Family Bread Factory. The bakery has been his possession or profession since he was young. He started working there at the age of 13. He learned many recipes. The most delicious and secret recipe uses oatmeal and other ingredients that only he knows. This bread made him famous. Nowadays he makes some bread only once in a while because his legs bother him, and he gets tired easily. Instead he sits at a table, and the poor or the people of the town come to buy bread and to pay their respects. Everyone admires him very much because he is an honest and hardworking man. If we can analyze this paragraph, in the beginning we must write the topic sentence that tells the reader what you are going to read about. This is the topic sentence, and you can follow it with some controlling ideas about the topic sentence. Next, you write some supporting sentences. Supporting sentences give some details and information or explanation about your title of the topic. You must write some 3 or 4 or 5 sentences to support the idea of your topic, and when you finish this topic you restate the idea of the topic sentence again. So everyone admires him or my grandfather. This is restating your paragraph. There are some types of a paragraph. There are 5 types of a paragraph. First of all, what is the paragraph? The paragraph is a group of sentences about a topic. A paragraph is a group of sentences about a topic. And what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words about some point of view. A paragraph is a group of sentences about a topic. In your course, you already learned what paragraph is and what different types of paragraph are. There are 5 types of a paragraph. Number 1, descriptive paragraph. You describe someone, you describe some place, you describe some item. Number 2, an example paragraph. An example paragraph, you describe something and you give some examples. You describe someone and give some examples. Number 3, a process paragraph, in which you know or you tell the reader how to make a process. You tell him how to make a process. Number 4, or type number 4 of a paragraph, is opinion paragraph. You give your opinion and you must give some reasons to support your opinion. Number 5, and the last one, is narrative paragraph. In narrative paragraph, you tell a story about some event or some experience. Then again, there are 5 types of a paragraph. Number 1, descriptive paragraph. This is for Unit 2. Example paragraph, Unit 3. Process paragraph, Unit 4. Opinion paragraph will be mentioned in Unit 5. And finally, the narrative paragraph will be discussed in narrative in Unit 6. Let's start with Unit 2, a descriptive paragraph. Descriptive paragraph, from the title you know that descriptive is from the word describe. Then you are going to describe. Describe what? Layout of a descriptive paragraph. In a descriptive paragraph, you can describe a person, you can describe a place, you can describe some item, so that the reader can picture it in his or her mind. Then when you describe someone, or when you describe some place, when you describe some item, you give the reader an idea or an imagination about the item you are going to describe, and he can picture it in his or her mind. So when you write a descriptive paragraph, in the topic sentence, you mention what you are going to describe. In a descriptive paragraph, introduces the item that the writer will describe. You are going to describe your friend, your teacher, your neighbor, your classmate, your cousin, and anyone you like to describe. Or you can describe a place like a city, a village, street or anything, your school, okay, any place you like to describe. Or you can describe something like your car, your house, or your mobile phone. This is for the topic sentence. In supporting sentences that give more information about your item or give some background information about the person you are describing. In the supporting sentences, you give descriptive details. These details describe how this item or how this person looks, how he smells, how he feels, how he tastes, or about your item. Also, in the supporting sentences, you can describe in more detail how the writer feels about the item. Then you give your feeling about this person. You like him, you don't like him, or you can give your feeling about some place or some item. In the end or in the concluding sentence, you end your paragraph with a concluding sentence, as we agreed before, that restates or retells the idea in the topic sentence again, but in different words. Don't use the words in the topic sentence or the supporting sentences, and you don't have to repeat them again in the same way, but you can use different words. An example of a descriptive paragraph is, this is an example of a descriptive paragraph. We agreed that in a descriptive paragraph you can describe someone, or you can describe some place, you can describe an item. In this example, the writer gave a description of some item. So the title of the paragraph is My Special Treasure. My special treasure. Treasure is not someone, it is not a place, but it is an item. So if you look at this paragraph, it began with the title. The title is My Special Treasure. In the first line, there is a space. Where then began with capital M in the beginning. My special treasure is a picture of my mother on her 15th birthday. This is the topic sentence. Then, if we read this sentence, we can have an idea that the writer is talking about a special treasure that is a picture, and he will mention it in the next sentences. My special treasure is a picture of my mother. Then his special treasure is a picture of his mother on her 15th birthday. This is the topic sentence. Then he gave some ideas about the topic sentence and the supporting sentences. This picture was always in my house. This is a description of his treasure. When I was growing up. Years later, when I got married and moved to Montreal, my mother gave it to me so that I would always remember her. Now it sits on the table next to my bed. If you notice something about this topic, you will notice that all the supporting sentences give more information or give more details about the topic sentence or the special treasure that is a picture of his mother. So he gave some backgrounds and he gave some information and details about his special treasure. And finally, when you read the last sentence, this picture of my mother is my most valuable possession. This sentence is the concluding sentence or the ending of his topic. This picture of my mother is my most valuable possession. It restates the idea of the topic sentence, but it is in a different way. Okay, if you look at this paragraph, you will see that there are margins on both sides, and it has unity. That is the topic of special treasure. And in this sentence, and I feel calm, as we agreed that you can give some feeling or emotion about your item or the person you are describing. And I feel calm when I gaze it into her eyes. Now I give you 2 minutes to read this paragraph. You have 2 minutes to read this paragraph. Remember that your paragraph must have a title, must have margins on both sides, it must be indent, and it must have unity. There must be correct punctuation, correct capitalization, correct full stops, and correct question marks. And also remember that the topic sentence tells the reader what he is going to read about. And you end your topic by restating the idea of the topic sentence again. Now we finished. Let's move to point number 3 or unit 3. In this part of our video, we are going to talk about type number 2 of a paragraph, that is example paragraph. From the title, you can have some ideas about this type of paragraph. Example paragraph, it means that you write your paragraph and give some examples about a person or a place you are writing about. So this is an example paragraph, and the layout of this paragraph is: writers use examples to help readers understand what they mean. In order to help a reader to understand what you mean, you can give him some examples. In paragraph number in type number 1, the descriptive paragraph, you give description, but in examples paragraph, you give some examples. For example, for instance, e.g. a good example supports a more general idea with something specific. Then you give some specific ideas about your paragraph. In this unit, you will write a paragraph that uses examples as supporting details. Then you write your topic sentence to mention what you are writing about. You write topic sentence. The first sentence introduces the topic what you are writing about. It also includes the controlling idea, or what the writer will say about the topic. In the supporting sentences, you give some more examples to support your controlling idea. These examples give a clear picture of writer's specific meaning. In order to understand what you are talking about, the writer have some picture in his or her mind through your examples. In the concluding sentence, you restate the topic and what you have said before. And this is an example of, or a model of an example paragraph. The person I admire. This is the title of our paragraph. The title of our paragraph is The Person I Admire. In the first line here, there is a space, and we begin with capital letter. Salman is the person that I admire most. This is the topic sentence. Salman is the person that I admire most. And the controlling idea is he is my cousin and he is 5 years older than me. Then you begin with the topic sentence and some controlling ideas. In the supporting sentences, you give some examples about the features of your cousin. He is 23 years now. He lives in Rifa with his family. He likes sport because he works as a PE teacher. He is also fond of reading and traveling. Salman is a role model and really dear to me. Salman has got shoulder length blonde hair, round face and brown eyes. He is tall and fit. He is an ambitious person, for example. Then the writer here gives some examples to support you or support his idea. He dreams to be a professional Olympic runner. He trains hard every day to achieve his goal. Salman is a reliable character because he is able to solve any problem and react wisely. He is also well organized, for instance. For instance means the same as for example. For instance, he can manage his time really well. He is also so cheerful that he meets people with a smile. If you look at this paragraph, it is about the person I admire most, and the writer gave some examples to support his idea or support his opinion about Salman. Everybody appreciates his efforts in voluntary work as he spends the weekend helping the orphans and the needy. He is such a generous person that he donates for the poor and the disabled. He has made strong impact on me. Then you must write your opinion about someone or some place, and you give some examples to support your opinion, and you finish your paragraph by restating the idea of your topic sentence again, but usually use different words. Another example of an example paragraph is about a place. You have 2 minutes to read this paragraph. This paragraph is about a place that is London. You have 2 minutes to read this paragraph. Look at this space, the margins on both sides, and here you can find, for example, you give an example. The topic sentence, the controlling ideas, the supporting sentences, and you end your paragraph with a concluding sentence to restate your idea in the topic sentence again. Look at this word. For instance means for example. For instance is the same as for example. You can also find e.g. If I had to describe my favorite place, then the paragraph is about a place, and he gives some examples about his favorite place, that is London. And finally, in the concluding sentence, London is the best city everywhere. I spend a nice time to break the routine. It is very special to me. This is the concluding sentence to repeat what you said, but in different words. Now let's move to type number 3. Unit 4 is about process paragraphs. Process paragraphs, from the title, you know that you are going to talk about a process or steps of making something. Process or steps of making something. Process paragraphs. This is type number 3. The layout of a process paragraph is: a process paragraph describes the steps necessary to perform a process or a task. Then you are going to mention some steps needed to make a test or to make something. In the topic sentence, you introduce the process, what you are going to make, what you are going to do, what you are going to talk about as a process. In the supporting sentences, you describe a sequence of steps. You write what you do first, then next, after that, and finally. You give some orders, or you order the steps you are going to do to make this process. You describe a sequence of steps that give detailed information about the stages of the process. Then, in order to make something, you begin with something, next, then, after that, and finally. These sentences may also give background details that help define the process for the reader to explain what the process is useful or necessary. And you may also include the tools, what you are going to use to make something. You are going to use tools or instruments to do a process. The tools needed. A model of a process paragraph. Look at this picture. In order to make a process paragraph, you can have a picture. The diagram explains the process for the making of chocolate. Then the topic sentence tells you that you are going to learn how to make chocolate as a process. The diagram explains the process for the making of chocolate. How to make chocolate. There are a total of 10 stages, 10 steps in this process. We are going to do some steps, beginning with the growing of the pods on the cocoa trees and culminating in the production of the chocolate. Then you begin with and you end with. There are some steps between the beginning and the ending. To begin, the cocoa beans or the cocoa comes from the cacao tree, which is grown in the South American and African continents and the country of Indonesia. Here in the supporting sentences, you talk about the stages or the steps you do or you make to make your process. Look at these numbers. And finally, you restate or you summarize what you have made in order to complete this process. As I have described, as I have mentioned, as I have told you, there are many steps mentioned above involved in making chocolate. By using the step-by-step approach outlined above, you can make sure of a perfect result. Then, in order to make a process, you must mention the steps you do to make this process perfectly, and you may also include the tools or the instruments or what you can use to make this process. You have 1 minute to read this paragraph. Remember that you can use some conjunctions or order words to make clear this, to make the steps clear for the writer. Here, number 1, next, to begin, number 1 to begin, then you can write next, then after, and finally. I think you have finished reading this paragraph. You have another minute to read it again. Let's get to the next slide. This is another model of a process paragraph, and it is about how to make pasta. In order to make pasta, it is very easy, a very easy process. Pasta is an Italian dish. This is the topic sentence. It is very tasty and I like to eat it. Controlling idea. You can eat it for dinner or lunch. Pasta is very easy to make. Look at the title, how to make pasta. Here is a space in the beginning, and this is the topic sentence. These sentences are called controlling ideas. This part is supporting sentence or supporting sentences about how to make the pasta in the perfect way. To make pasta, you will need chicken and shrimps. The writer wrote what you need to make pasta. You will need pasta, Italian spices, Swiss cheese, white and red sauce. Also, you will need vegetables, ingredients like potatoes, onions, and tomatoes. You will need cooking tools like a cooking pan, plates, and spoons. In this part, the writer talks about what you need to make pasta, the ingredients, and the tools. And the steps of making pasta are highlighted here. First, step number 1. Second, step number 2. Next, step number 3. Finally, step or the last step. And in the last paragraph, you write your concluding sentence. Finally, the result will be tasty Italian pasta. Then the writer repeats the idea of the topic sentence. The result will be tasty Italian pasta. In the topic sentence, he said that it is very tasty and I like to eat it. In the concluding sentence, he said that the result will be tasty Italian pasta. Just serve it on a plate with a drink. You can eat it at any time. In addition, it is not difficult to hard to make if you follow the given steps. This is very easy process to make. Now you have 2 minutes to read this paragraph. This is a model of a process paragraph about how to make pasta. Let's move to slide or the next slide. A third model of a process paragraph about how to grow roses. The title is How to Grow Roses, how to plant roses in your garden, and this is also a very good process and it is easy to you if you follow the given steps. You have 1 minute to read the paragraph and take care of the steps you are going to do in order to make the process perfectly. Look at the concluding sentence. If you continue to take care of your roses in this simple way, they will produce beautiful flowers year after year. And here the writer uses some words to show you how to make it in brief. He said that first, number 1 first. After you bring, this is step number 2. Then next, these are some words used to make the steps clear to you. Let's move to the next slide. Unit 5 is about opinion paragraphs. And I think that you have studied this type of paragraph in 201 in opinion led essay and for and against essay. Unit 5 is about opinion paragraphs, and you have already studied them in the course 201. The layout of an opinion paragraph. In an opinion paragraph, the writer presents an opinion. Then you must mention your opinion and tries to persuade the reader that your opinion is true. It is the best one. The writer tries to make readers agree with him or her. How? Through mentioning some reasons. Then the reader says that I think something is good, something is bad for you, and in order to make you persuaded, you have some reasons from the writer in order to get his idea. In the topic sentence, the writer introduces the topic and states the writer's opinions. Then number 1, he must state his opinion. And in number 2, in the supporting sentences or the model sentences, give reasons. Then, in order to make you persuaded, he gives you some reasons that support his opinion, and he can use facts or explanations and personal experiences to support his or her opinion. In the concluding sentence or in the last sentences, the writer restates his opinion again, but in different words. Don't use the same words. Don't repeat. It also comments on the opinion in some way. And let's have a model about this opinion paragraph. We studied this in 201. Who learns faster, children or adults? What do you think? Who is very good at learning fast, children or adult persons? So the writer here gives his opinion. He says that small children seem to learn very quickly. Then the writer gives you his opinion. He thinks that the children are able to learn very quickly, while adults sometimes appear to lose the ability to pick up new subjects such as language, music, games, or computer programs. Then, in the point of view of the writer, he thinks that children are skillful at learning languages and computer programs than the adults. Okay, then he gives you some reasons to support this opinion. He says that it is undoubtedly true that children seem to learn very quickly. In just a few years, they can learn how to play a musical instrument, speak one or even two more languages. Then here in this part, he gives you some reasons why he thinks that his opinion is true. There are some reasons, and here adults on the other hand are supposed to be poor learners. He also thinks that adults are not as good as children at learning. However, I disagree with people who say that adults cannot learn quickly. There are some other reasons to support his opinion that children have the ability to learn faster than adults. And finally, in the concluding sentence, he says that I feel that we cannot generalize about the children or adults being better learners. It depends on the situation and the motivation of the person and the level of enthusiasm he or she has for learning. You have 2 minutes to read this paragraph and take notes about the elements of writing an opinion paragraph: the title, the indent, the margins, the unity, the capitalization, and the full stops. and the opinion of the writer in the topic sentence, his reasons, and finally restating his opinion in a different way. Let's move to the next slide. Another model of an opinion paragraph, and you have 2 minutes to read it. It's about the exploring space. Take care of the elements of the layout of opinion paragraph, the title, the indent, the margins, the unity, the capitalization, the full stops, the topic sentence, the supporting sentences for reasons, and the concluding sentence. Now let's get to the last type of paragraph, that is narrative paragraphs. Narrative paragraph, we are going to tell a story. The layout of a narrative paragraph, you tell a story that sets the background of an event. You describe an event and comment on the event. You will write a narrative paragraph that tells the story of an event in your life, and we also had learned how to write a story in the intermediate stage and in 101. In the topic sentence, you tell the reader what you are going to read or what you are going to write about, what the story you are going to write about, and you say when and where it happened. You give him the setting, and you should capture the reader's interest, and you must pay attention, or you must get his attention to you. In the supporting sentence, you tell the reader some details of the story, including the sequence of events. You say what happened first, then what happens. And you include sensory details such as what the author saw, heard, smelled, or tasted, and you tell him about your feeling. And in the concluding sentence, you retell the story in brief. Look at this model. It's about the writer's first day at university. What happened to him when he was in the first day of university? And we can read in this paragraph what happened to him on that day. You have 2 minutes to read this paragraph and take notes of the title, the indent, the margins, the unity, capitalization, and punctuation marks. Do you remember your first day in the university? This is the topic sentence. Well, I remember my first day. I was waiting all the summer to enter the university. This is a controlling idea. I felt excited and at the same time I was very nervous because it was my first day in the university and I didn't know any person. My first day in the university was good. Then here he stated his topic about his first day at school and his controlling ideas. In the next 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs, he's going to give you some details about the setting, what happened to him on that day, and finally he will restate what he has said before and give you some brief about his topic sentence again in different words. You have 2 minutes to read this paragraph in detail. Now let's have another example of a narrated paragraph. It's about the best hamburger of my life. You can read it in detail. You have 2 minutes. Take care of the layout of this type of paragraphs. The writer is telling you a story about what happened to him when he went to see his favorite team of soccer team. Thank you everybody for following our session. I hope you have benefited from this presentation, and I wish you all the best in your exams. Thank you for your attention and for hard work. I wish you all the best. Thank you.